Thanks for allowing me to share a few moments of your time this morning. Last week we began looking at how a person can experience everyday opportunities and use them to share the love and truth of Christ. If you remember, last week we talked about how we can use our time at a restaurant to connect with those who serve us. Now, let's turn our attention to those that we're connected with a lot, those at our workplace. You know, someone has stated that we may not lead hundreds to Christ in a packed arena, but we do have the privilege to be the light in our place of employment. You know, an author goes on to say that the workplace is an excellent field to share the gospel because the gospel can be seen before it's heard. Now, if you want to share your faith, but are not sure where to begin, consider some simple keys. Number one, nurture a relationship. You know, you can't expect to talk about tougher topics unless you're first willing to develop friendships with those you want to influence for Christ. Don't worry about sharing your faith so much as to concern yourself with deepening the relationship and being transparent about your own life. You know, people today can feel very threatened when the Bible is shared, but when you share your own personal accounts, well, kind of a safety net appears. The second thing, strive for excellence. Colossians 3:23 states, "Whatever you do, do it enthusiastically as something done for the Lord and not for men." These are priceless, valuable words for the Christian worker. Someone has expressed how people won't pay attention to your faith if you do sloppy work. Before we can influence our peers in the spiritual realm, we often have to impress them with our professional work. One word of wisdom, you know, if we're not committed to excellence at our workplace, then we probably shouldn't be talking about our faith. Commit to personal integrity is the third key. You know, it's not enough to be good at your work. Your heart must be good as well. You know, often, if not always, how we treat people says more about our character than anything else. And living out the fruit of the Spirit, as mentioned in Galatians 5, will go a long way of standing out from the crowd and piquing the interest of our fellow co-workers who don't know Christ. And the last key is pray specifically and continually. 1 Thessalonians 5:17 tells us to pray constantly. Because you see, praying is a most important step toward understanding how to approach our friends with the right attitude and the right words so that they can be lovingly confronted with the presence of Christ. You know, I read one time when someone dared to mention that when we share the message in that way, it's going to make the gospel sound like good news. And isn't that what the message really is, the gospel? Isn't it good news? I'm going to close today with some thought-provoking words about fulfilling our Lord's commission. Being real means being yourself without being weird or obnoxious. It means bringing your Jesus story into the room with you if it's called for. And it means that if God prompts you to do something overly spiritual, you go for it, like knocking on doors. Jesus gave us a mission. And that mission is to connect with people that Jesus misses most. Next week, we will find out just how simple it really is to walk someone through the Bible to a saving trust in Jesus Christ. And thanks again for letting me share your space and time. God bless. See you next week.